Oh, he doesn't look too scared to me. Looks like he kind of won that one.
Ow, I think
Marty won. Marty won Beanie 0. You okay?
Fun. Yeah. Go on, I was supposed to startle you. You were supposed to run and be funny. Come on.
Now, if you were to ask her, Beanie would tell you that she really doesn't like the cats.
I got your doggy. I got your doggy.
Now, this doesn't look like a woman who doesn't like the cats, does it? She just likes to say that because, I don't know, she knows it gets to me. And she has a lot of fun with them, just like I do. Yep, like she said, she doesn't really like the cats. Guess who else has got to get involved?
Do somersaults.
Where are you going?
Like that. That's the end of the show.
Okay, let's talk about the next thing we need to remove, and that is all of this stuff. Okay, this all needs to come off of here, and there are certain ways, certain steps you want to do to get that to happen. And you know the order isn't. It doesn't have to be exactly the same order I do it in, but you're going to have generally the same order because these won't come off till you get this off. This won't come off till you get this off. You get the idea. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dial glass off of here. By the way, these are glass, and they're becoming like hen's teeth, the glass ones. But I'll post the name of a guy who sells beautiful, beautiful plastic reproductions of them. And he does a fabulous job, and his prices are very reasonable, and he gets them to you quickly. Okay, so this is a 1/4 inch screws. Let me do that. All right, let's take these screws off. While I'm at it, guys, let me take a minute to apologize for the crummy video in this. The Sony camcorder's at it again. This guy just lifts off of here. And the battery keeps dying. Set that aside. Let's do this one here. So if you can just put up with the crummy camera work for a little while, real soon we'll have the video back up to scratch. And actually, I don't need to remove that one all the way. I'll just go ahead and lift this glass off of here now. Like I said, that's glass. Be careful with it. Put it someplace safe right away. That is precisely what I'm going to do. Okay. Now I like to take the screws. Yes?
Hello.
Hi. Is Laura with you?
No, she's with her friends for dinner.
How are you? Let me stop my video.
Where is it pointing at?
At me. At this.
Oh.
See? I'll put that in the YouTube video. You don't think I will, do you?
I did it for you so I could be a star like Piggy.
Okay. How are you?
I'm fine. I made it. I did it. Josh called and I told him that his kitty doesn't love him anymore, that he loves Laura now.
Hi, Marty. Come here, buddy.
Ooh, your finger's on his bum.
See, say hi to the camera, Marty.
No, he doesn't care. He wants to chew on your chin instead.
Marty. Let me go ahead now and work on the next part of this. Well, these need to come off because they'll come up missing if I don't, and I'm going to put them with the dial glass. Okay, so let me make sure that the condenser is closed. Let's see here. Well, let me go ahead and pull this off of here. Now these, you have to be really careful with taking these off because they'll bend and they'll break. Okay, just watch what you're doing. The best way I've found to take them off is to really gently get under them with a screwdriver, but do not damage do not damage the metal that's underneath here. Real careful. So I got the screwdriver tip pushing against that paper. Okay, it's worked, it's come loose a little bit, I can feel it. It's still, these things are notoriously difficult to get off. There we go. You just have to take it easy and go with confidence. It will come off if you just be gentle about it. There we go. Okay, you see it's got this long like collar on it here that really grips that shaft tightly. And this is brass and this is steel, and so the two of them, there's a little bit of a dissimilar metal action going on, and that will sometimes cause them to kind of seize up or gall on there. You just have to take it slow. Okay, we'll set that aside. This guy too. This little plastic disc. There's always a plastic disc here to finish off that, to trim that off there. Great. Now we have to go about taking this piece off of here. Hey Buster, what are you doing on Mommy's nice stickly chair? You don't belong on that. You know she's going to get mad if she sees that. Buster, do you know that Mommy's going to get mad if she sees you there? Oh, that's how you feel about it, huh? Okay, well, I'll let you fight your own battles. She loves that chair. She might just toss you out. I'm going to go ahead and take this lamp off of here because I think this is preventing that from coming off. I don't think this lamp really goes there anyway. I probably should not have left these tabs on just yet, so let me move them out of the way. Just loosen them some, okay? There, now this guy here, you get your fingernails, see that, okay, I need to take those off because I'll show you why this is precarious. And you want to be real careful about how you do this. Okay, you see this needle right here? Okay, that is the station indicator. The other needle is like a second hand on a watch, okay? Well, that station indicator is this one right here. That's the one you actually tune to the station. So I like to get the condenser as close to closed, fully closed as I can while I'm doing this kind of thing. Now, if you look close, you'll see that there are these fingers that stick up like so. There are 3 of them on here. Okay, they form a triangle. Well, there are cutouts in this deal right here that fit over those kind of tightly when this thing is in there. Okay, that's all that's holding it in place, and then the glass holds it on. But you want to be careful when you lift this off because you do not want to bend this needle. It's going to lift up some. It's very flexible. It's able to do that. And what I should have done, and I'll go ahead and do that now, I wasn't thinking, and I remember this from the last one I did, what you want to do is don't have it fully closed, and don't close it until you get this thing off. So put it back in place. Alright, now let's you want to get this, I'll show you why, I'll show you what I'm doing here and I'll explain why in just a second. Just have patience with me because I don't have a knob mounted on this and it's slippery. That's close enough. Now I put it down here because when I lift up these two on the top side, I remember this now from doing the last one I did, and I'll push this guy up, see, and lift it off like that. Now I've got that kind of lifted up off of there. Now I want to turn that till I just get where I can clear the dial right here, or clear the opening, and I lift that out of the way. Take good care of these guys. I've never seen reproductions for sale, and I see them often enough that I can get them, but I've never seen reproductions for sale. And this one here is in pretty good shape. There isn't any chip paint or anything like that. I will probably just wipe this very clean. I don't think I'll polish it, but I'll put a coat of wax on it, and that helps them to hold up to the sun a little better. Okay, now I'm going to want to take this needle off right here now. Now this is when I like to have the condenser pretty much closed, because I'm going to be getting to that condenser here pretty soon. And I like to have those in a safe, have them positioned safely. When they're closed, that's the safest position for them. Alright, so they're closed. I don't want to break this light bulb, so I want to get this out of here. Okay, just push it down out of the way. Okay, it's just got those little clip deals, okay, and they slip over a tab right under here. Now I want to lift this up. Sometimes these will come right off, and sometimes you got to talk nice to them. It's better sometimes, if you can, to get under them on two sides and lift evenly. But these are a real bugger, and you can damage them, so be careful. There is no reason to hurry. See that lifting off? If I were trying to do one side at a time, it might lift off, it might get stuck crooked and become really hard to get off. Once you get it off part way, usually you can get your hands on it and pull it off. Resist the urge to start twisting it to pull it off, and the reason for that is, not that that doesn't work, but when you're doing that, you're likely to slip, and I have mangled these before. You bend it if you do that. I don't know if you can, I hope you can see that. You see that shape? That shape is the way it's supposed to be. It's real curved here, like a swooping curve toward the outside, and that is so that it conforms to the curved shape of this guy right here, right in here. Alright, and then there's a much shallower dip right here, and that part conforms to this guy right here. Okay? Okay, now we got some of the fragile stuff off. We're going to take these guys off now. These guys are usually held on with set screws. So let me take this one off and show you how I do it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pull this set screw off. A little tough to do this and get good views with the camera, but that's okay. I'm getting used to doing that kind of thing. It doesn't really even slow me down anymore. I kind of bored Fred, and Fred has gone his own way now. So you want to loosen this set screw. Boom, piece of cake. Alright. This one has two set screws. So loosen the other one. They're 90 degrees away from each other. Once you got both of them loose, it'll just slide right off, okay? And okay, here's what the little dial looks like. You see there's a part number on it, 26153. This one here is cracked right here. Now fortunately, only this part of the dial really is seen. So I'm going to get behind this, and I'll glue a piece of plastic on there to support it, and I'll just leave the crack as it is. If I put any glue on here, it'll be very visible, so I don't want to do that. I'll glue it from the back side. That's after I clean it. Dial number 1. Okay, let's do dial number 2. I'm going to get right here. There's that set screw. Do you see where I'm going? Okay. Loosen that. Another one 90 degrees out. Same deal. Once that's loose, this slides right off. There you go. Okay guys, now we're going to do our best to take this guy off of here. I forgot to take this little tone indicator off up here. It's like another little dial. And I don't want to lay something on that and crack it. There we go. I used to mark the position all the time, but the truth is, often the position was wrong to begin with, you know, maybe a little bit off, and then after I do the work, it might need to change a little anyhow, so I don't bother marking them anymore. I just put them where they look right when I get to that point in the job. Now, this whole assembly here is held on basically by 4 screws. There are 2 up here at the top, and 2 at the bottom. These 2 at the top are right by the tone control. In fact, one of them is under the tone control, so that I sometimes have to remove the tone control to get to that one. And then these 2 nuts down here that are attached to some long studs. So first things first, let me get that tone control out of there. Buster, what are you doing? No, no. You behave or I'll send you out of here. The cats, with 3 of them in the house right now, because Marty's here, the cats are all kind of misbehaving. They figure there's safety in numbers and they can do what they want. Okay, yikes. All right, here we go. And the size for this guy is 9/16. After years of working on European cars and a few Japanese cars, I got used to using metric. You know, in engineering we called it SI. Stands for System International, I believe, French. The French way. I'm sure the French have a much more elegant way to say it. But anyway, I got used to SI units, and it's been a real conversion for me to learn to use American size units. Now that I have been using them for a bit, I'm actually really comfortable with them. Fractions and all. I still think that metric is better. Somebody out there is going to holler at me, but I don't care. Base 10 is always better. Why? We have 10 fingers. I can always figure it out with these. Okay, tone control I'm just going to set aside right there. Now I can get to these 2 screws on the top. Before I go real far with that, I want to go ahead and put these tabs back on this thing so that I don't lose them. I told you I was going to take them off for a few minutes, and that's all I did. I'll have to take them off again when I reassemble this, but the point is I'll know where they're supposed to go. And you don't want to leave them too loose because they'll find a way, that screw will find a way to walk itself out of there, and then you'll be hunting for it. And someday, long after I'm dead and gone, somebody will come and explore this house. Some archaeologist will find this house buried under, 10 feet of dirt and rubble, and they'll find a little pile of these screws that the floor monster has been saving up. Okay, terrific. Let's loosen these screws here. Those are 1/4 inch. Everything on these old radios, you start with a 1/4 inch. The most used tool you're going to have when you're taking things apart is a 1/4 inch driver. My friend Buster has decided to explore my storage shelf, and I'm going to have to lock him out if he doesn't cut it out. Alright, there's 2 of them. Now the bottom ones, I remember, are not 1/4 inch. If I remember right, they, let's see here. Yep, 5/16. Okay. There is a little star washer under that one. Another little star washer under that one. Okay, so I've got all 4 corners loose. This should just lift right off, and indeed it does. Nothing to it, see? All the complicated stuff is reserved on this unit. It's all together on this unit, and that's real nice because I won't have to take it any further apart than this. This is as far as I have to go. I'll clean it and lubricate it from this position. Now let me show you here. Here are the shutter dials. The very front one is the standard broadcast AM. Okay, you see how they meet together here at the bottom where they're actually split. Okay, when you operate the control, the band switch, the first position beyond standard broadcast is this right here, shortwave, from 5.6 megahertz to 18 megahertz. The back dial is 1.8 megahertz all the way up to 5.5. Actually, it's right around 1.7 right there, right around 6 somewhere in here. A lot of times you'll have some overlap where at the top of one band you can listen to the same station as at the bottom of the next band up. When you operate the band switch, these little levers here operate the leafs, okay? And they do it back here. You can kind of see the way that's working. Okay, there's 1 and there's 2. That'll just need cleaning and lubrication of areas like this here. So these little boards here form these gaps right here between the layers that act as guides for the leafs of the shutter dial. Let me show you what I mean. Watch this. See that? They keep those from getting caught on something and bending. It's a pretty slick design. All right, I'll put this aside and we'll deal with that later. There's another part that is very fragile and that you got to deal with pretty early on or you'll be sorry because you could break it. And that's this right here. I am so grateful that this one is not broken. A lot of these that I get, this little part right here, this little arm, it's really thin and it's pot metal, and that'll be broken off. Now I have found ways to fix it. Every time I do it a different way, but it's a real hassle. This one is not broken. I'm very happy. I can just take it off of there and not have to worry about it. And to get it off of there, you have to deal with these funky little clips that Zenith likes to use. Hi, Buster. Okay, Zenith likes to use these funky little clips right here. All right, see how that turns a little bit? Now, they're a bugger to get off, and believe me, if you lose one, you're wishing you didn't. So what I do, and it's going to be hard to show this to you, I don't want to use my Zerons to do it because they're a little more delicate than that. So I'll use these older ones. I forget who made these. They're Klein, little needle nose, and I'll put one side of each of the pliers against the clip like that. Now, I don't want to the idea is I'm going to tap it off of there, but you sure as heck don't want to do it without thinking about things and trying to make sure that you capture it, right? You do the best you can. So when it comes off, it's going to go down, and I want to do my very best to capture it so that it doesn't go flying. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, let me get this position. I'll give her a whack. Yikes. Now, I seldom get this the first time out. I have it down enough right here. It's hard to see. I moved it down enough so I can get the screwdriver under it. Let me show you. Now, let me get a screwdriver. I can get the screwdriver under it right here and just turn, but I will put my finger Alright, I'm going to put the screwdriver under it, get it in there. There we go. These are a bugger, man. These are a bugger. I hope you saw that. If you didn't, I can't do it again. These are a pain, and I don't like to push my luck on them. I lose them. They get lost. So before I do anything else, I'm putting this little puppy in a baggie right away. All right, I want to put these little nuts back on the studs. That will help remind me where they belong. Finger tight is good. Just don't leave them loose. They'll fall off. I haven't forgotten that I got that loose, but I just want to get these out of the way before I mess with it. Okay. These two screws, I'm going to take this guy and put them where they came from. One here. And one right here. I'll have to remember that those need to come out when I put this back together. Now, I want to get this guy off, okay? Now, you'll notice this whole thing is one big unit, all right? And this is the delicate part right here. This is steel. That's no big deal. That's pot metal. Pot metal spells trouble. If you don't know about pot metal, you just check out any video where somebody is restoring an old 20s radio like a Majestic or something like that. And the pot metal is a nightmare. Okay, you just loosen the screw. Now you won't need to mark the positions because when you put it back together, there really only be one position that works. Plus, there's going to be a witness mark on that shaft. 2 witness marks, and that'll be all you need to know. Don't lose the set screws. Now slide this thing off together, okay, like so. Okay, you don't want to be yanking. Don't, whatever you do, yeah, like I started to do, don't pull on this while this is still attached. You'll snap that off. It's quick as anything. There. Let me show you in detail what I'm talking about. It is this little arm right here, okay, that comes off of the cylinder that forms as part of the band switch mechanism. That arm, they always break. They break right in here, okay, and then the whole mechanism is no good because there's no way to link from where you're operating it to the band switch shaft itself. Okay, so you want to just treat this thing. If you've got one that's not broken, count your blessings and treat it with kid gloves, okay? Put this little set screw back. You may notice a trend in what I'm doing. I put all of the screws that I can back in their holes, even if it means a little more work when I go to reassemble. I'll have to take those screws out again, but at least I'll know where they go. You would be surprised how much you will forget between the time you take it apart and the time you put it back together. Put this little washer here, which goes behind this shaft. If I remember, it actually, I'll have to look at the video. I don't know if it went behind the clip or not. I think it went behind the clip. It's how they usually are. And you know, between this cylinder and the clip, it prevents wear on the cylinder and galling. So I'm going to go ahead and put that washer in with the clip, and as well as this mechanism. Precious stuff, man. Precious stuff. All right. Wow, we are really getting somewhere. Check it out. Oh, so when you mount this, that whole frame that goes in front of this guy keeps this. You see how that's suspended? That, because there are studs down here, all right, they are a fixed locator that locates this big framework, all right? And this big framework then locates these 2 holes right here, which forces that up, and that's what makes it possible for there to be tension on that belt to operate this, the tuning. Okay. Terrific, man, terrific. All right, so it looks like we've got all the fragile stuff off of this chassis so that we can begin working. Now, at some point, I'm going to very likely remove this bracket from the tuning condenser because I'm going to have to replace, there are 3 grommets. Okay, one, two, three grommets that will have to be replaced. And I'll do that by removing this bracket. There are 2 screws down there that I'll remove. And I'll remove these nuts off of here, these little 1/4-inch nuts, and this bracket will lift off. But then the problem is I don't want to do that too early on because I don't want to leave this tuning condenser there to dangle. It'll just be dangling by its wires at that point. I usually reserve the tuning condenser work for a little later. When I get under the chassis, one of the early things I will do is find the connection points and desolder them, and then I'll decide whether I want to pull this right away or not. But that is work for next time. We're going to wrap it up for now. We've gotten all the fragile stuff off, which is what we set out to do. So I'm going to close it down for today. We're getting a little bit long, and we'll just see you next time. So from your Western Outpost in Salt Lake City, this is Michael, and that's all for now. What are you doing on my bed, Mr. Marty? Yeah, what are you doing on my bed? You know you don't belong here. You're not supposed to be here. What do you have to say about that? Hi, Marty. You're a cutie, Marty. You're a cutie.